Alrighty, so we are here today, back again. First of all, I want to thank you guys again for the continued support. It's just been so amazing. The reception I got on that last video was quite something. You know, I wasn't expecting it to get that many views and to get that much feedback, but it did, and I'm blown away by it. So hopefully you guys continue to enjoy these videos. You know, I've been getting a lot of messages and stuff about where I want to take this podcast, what direction I really look to, see it going. And honestly, I want to see it grow. I don't really have a direction in mind right now, but I'm just enjoying the process and enjoying the road and the journey. I hope you guys are too. So right off the jump, if you guys see my hat, I want to thank my boy Nimo Woods and his brand Tuff Love for the hat. Trucker hats. You can see the red one on top, embroidered. I really like them both. You know, I have to support the friends, the homies, always. And it's kind of funny that I'm wearing it today because the topic of today's video is going to kind of go hand in hand with the brand. His brand is Tuff Love, and his motto is, you can see it on the side of the hat, I'll put it up right here, "You can't love me like I love me." And it's going to kind of go in line with, you guys may know, I'm filming this on February 16th. So is it the 16th? It's the 17th today. So February 17th, Sunday, we just had Valentine's Day. And, I had a lot of ideas of where I wanted to take this episode until, I kind of saw some things and experienced some things on Sunday that made me kind of change my mind of where I wanted to go on this episode, at least. So this episode, I'm going to focus on that, love life and, the idea of experiencing love and my experience with love and things like that. So, going hand in hand with the motto of this brand, "You can't love me like I love me," I'm going to start off with that. I think a lot of people are in search of a love or finding someone to love that's going to, give them everything, love them unconditionally and everything that they can do and, make them feel better about themselves. But from my experience, and at least if you do really love somebody, you would know you can't love somebody unless you truly love yourself. No one can love you the way you can ultimately love yourself. It's just a fact. It's a given fact. And as much as people want to say otherwise, I don't really see why there would be even an argument. Like, if you can't love yourself, how can you expect anybody else to love you? You have to be able to identify love within yourself to be able to accept love from anybody else. And you won't know exactly what love you deserve or what love you want unless you love yourself. You can't expect something from someone that you're not even understanding of. It's almost in the sense of like going to a restaurant and being hungry and then someone else telling you what you're going to eat when you may not want that. You may not even be in the mood for that. So you going into something like ordering food even and asking, "This is what I want and I don't want anything else. If you don't have it, I'm going to go somewhere else and get that." It's as simple as that. You could meet somebody and you could fall in love. You could be totally immersed in this person. And you come to realize that, the love that they're offering isn't exactly 100% what you need. And you have to kind of take a step back. I wouldn't say you have to just up and give up. If you're willing to talk about it and let that person know, like, this is the type of love that I want to receive. You know, it goes with the love language talk and what you expect your partner should give you in a relationship. And if that person isn't willing to give it to you, why waste your time? You know, why put yourself through all that when it's not going to be there? No matter how much you try, no matter how much you beg and you try to talk it out, if that person's not willing to give it to you, why stay there and hurt yourself? You know, it's kind of tough being in a situation where you could be in love with somebody and you know you have love for this person, and they could be on the opposite hand where they don't love themselves. They can't look at themselves in the mirror and say, I love this person. This person that I'm looking at in this mirror is amazing, is worthy, is beautiful, anything. If you can't say that to yourself, you can't accept a love from another person. And if your significant other can't do that, if they are not able to look at themselves and think anything positive, then they aren't ever going to be able to accept a love from you that you want to give them. It's just that simple. You could try, you could work so hard, you could do everything in your power to try to give that person a reason to think otherwise. But if they can't do it, it's not on you. It's not up to you. You know, it's a tough reality, especially at a young age. You know, I can only speak for myself. In the situations that I've been in, it hasn't been easy. And it's never going to be easy when you're dealing with someone like that. And as much as you want to try to fix them, if they're not ready to be fixed or want to be fixed, there's nothing you can do. It's a tough road to try to heal that person when they simply don't want to be healed. They're happy with being sad, which is kind of, you know, kind of contradictory to think of, but people can definitely be okay with being sad and they're just going to accept it. If they're not willing to work at it and try to heal themselves, you're never going to be able to help this person. And most of the time, people aren't ready for that reality. They're not ready to hear that truth. It's a harsh truth. And it's kind of funny, like, going with the brand, I don't mean to always reiterate back to the brand, but I connected with his brand a lot. Even though he's my friend, I connected with it because it's tough. It's a tough love. It's the toughest love. The toughest love is trying to give someone a reason to be loved. And it sucks. It sucks trying with every ounce of your body, trying to tell this person that you love them and trying to make them realize that they're loved and they're deserving of love. Because if they're not ready for it, they're not going to hear it. They're not going to try to hear you out, and they're not going to try to understand or try to work on themselves. They're going to be happy with being sad. They're going to be content with the position they're in. And the shitty thing is too, like, you can't fix them as much as you want to. You can't. There's nothing you can do. Nothing. And you have to realize that that's okay. But that just means you have to move on. Otherwise, you're going to end up hurting yourself. And as someone who's been through that, I would hate to see anybody else go through that. It's a really, really crappy feeling to think I'm gonna love this person so much that they're gonna be loved. They're gonna love themselves too, because they're gonna see how much I'm able to love them. It just doesn't work that way. As much as we want it to, it just doesn't work that way, guys. And you know, I've been in a situation where like that, where, you know, the person that I was with didn't think that they were beautiful, didn't think that they were worth anything. And I tried my hardest to help them. I tried my hardest to make them think otherwise. I went through the process of learning that it's not healthy to try to fix another person who isn't ready for that. Because if they're not ready for it, nothing will change. Nothing. It just is what it is. And I'm so sorry to anybody else who has gone through it, who is currently going through it, or who hasn't gone through it. If you haven't gone through it, I hope you never do. I really do hope you never do. Right now, I apologize for the siren. I know it's really loud, but that's what happens. I apologize, guys. But if you have gone through it, you know how tough it is. You know how hard it is to wake up every morning and try to be like, okay, well, here we go. A relationship shouldn't be a job. It shouldn't be an obligation. Especially if the other person isn't giving you any feedback or anything in return that's going to be beneficial, or even showing that they're growing, or showing that they're trying to heal and trying to better themselves. It's tough. And it gets very draining. It gets very, very draining to a point where you have nothing left to give, and you end up resenting that other person. You resent yourself for wasting your time, and it's a crappy feeling. It really is. And for the people who are currently going through that right now, I know some people may be in a relationship where on the outside it could look really good. Could look like a happy relationship, could look like everything is fine and dandy. But behind closed doors, or between the two of you, it's not. And you know it isn't, and the other person knows it isn't. But you guys are staying together because it's either comfortable, or it's something you've known, or you just don't want to give up on the other person. But it's not about that. It's not about being comfortable. It's not about not wanting to give up. It's about protecting your own energy and making sure that both parties are happy. And if your significant other isn't willing to work on themselves to help make you happy and to better your life as well, then why are you wasting your time doing the same? It's a two-way street. And sometimes, in a relationship, at times, it's like more 80-20, where one person's giving a lot more effort than the other. When times get tough, yes, that's reasonable. But that can't be the whole dynamic of the relationship. At the end of the day, a relationship is still 50-50. Sometimes in moments there are more of a percentage to one side than the other, and that's fine. But it can't be like that the entire time. It just can't. There's no way for a relationship to be successful at that point. Otherwise, why are we still here? Why isn't everyone happy? Why isn't everyone in a relationship? And it's a reality that a lot of people don't understand, because they may be on the boat where everything is good, everything is great, your relationship is positive, you both love each other, and great, that's awesome. But for those who have been through what I'm talking about right now, I'm almost positive most of us have, especially in today's day and age where people's opinion matters so much to everybody. Like, they worry about what others think about them. They worry about how they're viewed by the public or by social media, or how social media influences their own self-image. It's a sad time we live in to basically focus your life on numbers on a screen. With all these different social media platforms, people base their success on followers, likes, views. We all have fall victim to that. We all do. But for you to let that carry on into a personal relationship, or into your personal life, rather than just your private life on social media, it's It's a sad reality. And, you know, a lot of the times those numbers and those situations get in the way of a positive relationship because they just think that this person, my significant other has more followers than me, they're more popular than me, or whatever the case may be. Whatever it may be. That could play a role in some relationships, and it sucks because I'm sure your partner doesn't want it like that, doesn't view it like that. But are you willing to talk about it? Are you willing to let them know that, hey, I feel bad about this. This is not making me happy. I'm not happy because of this. If you're not willing to talk about it, then you either have to search within yourself and figure out why you're not happy about it, or you need to just openly say, hey, I'm not happy, and this is why. If you're not willing to do that, a relationship's never going to work out, because eventually the train will stop, the wheels will come off, and it'll be a disaster, because one moment you're going to be happy and the next you're not, and then you're going to start being angry at something, and then you're going to start being angry at your partner, and then your partner's going to start getting angry at you, and then it just becomes an entire, cluster of hate and anger and negativity, when it could have been really positive with just talking it out, or understanding that, your worth isn't within a number on a screen or the followers that view your page. It's within yourself. And another side of the toughest love is your loving yourself every day. Waking up every day and saying, I love you, man. Looking yourself in the mirror, I love you. You are beautiful. It's a tough thing. Believe me, I struggle with it. I have a bad habit of being self-deprecating. I get questioned, why do I do that? Why are you so self-deprecating? It's not funny. It's not cute. It's not attractive. I wish I could say. Could be years of trauma. Could be years of being put down by people. So it's just what I'm used to, and I just try to make a joke out of it. But I understand it's not funny. I am very aware of the fact that me talking down upon myself is not a good look. I try my best not to do it, but it's just part of my, part of my personality. It doesn't happen as much as it used to, but it still does, and it's a tough habit to break. But I'm working on it. I am. I understand more and more now of what I offer and what I bring to the table, both for myself and in a relationship. You know what I mean? Like, ultimately, it's about myself and knowing that I'm good enough and knowing that I'm worth it. And I know I am. It's taken a long time to realize that, but I know I am. Spent a lot of years being told I'm not. Spent a lot of years being told that I ain't shit. And then, my life has kind of made me feel like it at times. Finding things out about my past or stuff like that. We're not going to get in too much into detail about it, but, being told you're not good enough, or that, or not being accepted by someone, it sucks, especially growing up. You don't know how to interpret it. You don't know how to tell yourself, who cares what they think? Because you're so vulnerable, you're so naive to your own personal strength. And I joke and say, like, I was Mr. Friendzone back in the day, just basing on relationships, you know what I mean? Like, growing up, I was Mr. Friendzone, and it's true. I mean, you can ask anybody that knows me for long enough, that's who I was. And then, even along those lines, I joke and say my nickname growing up was, Aw, you're so cute. Like, that's not a good response to certain things, you know what I mean? And it's because people didn't take me seriously. They just thought, It's just a friend. You know, I heard that a lot growing up. It sucked then, but it made me grow to be who I am now. And I'm still dealing with some of the trauma from those times, but I'm a lot better with it now. You know, I can laugh at the person I was back then because I didn't know who I was. I based all my self-worth off those types of comments and those scenarios. I don't anymore. You know, I'm fine with rejection now. I'm fine with being told this or told that, or things not working in my favor. I'm fine with it. It may not have been back then, but again, I'm a lot older now. Years have passed and I've matured a lot to the point where I'm finally happy to be able to say I'm happy with who I am every day, no matter what anybody says. I go to sleep every night not being hateful to myself and having negativity in my heart toward myself. Like, no. Like, people could say whatever they want about me. I don't care. People don't pay my bills. People don't put money in my pocket. They don't put food on my table. They don't take care of my kids. I do that. I'm the one that's able to take care of all that. So understanding that has helped me love myself more, because I know you're going to always figure it out. You know, with Valentine's Day that just happened, you know, a lot of people posting their significant other and, you know, being so happy to be in love and posting their love and all this stuff. But it's like, most of the time, people wait till those days to be appreciative of their significant other. People wait till those days to show love and affection to their girlfriend, boyfriend, husband, or wife, or anything. You know, I get it. If you've been with each other for a long enough time, you don't have to spend every day like it's Valentine's Day. But showing affection and love should not be a biannual thing. You know, it should be shown at all times. Again, when it comes to loving yourself and loving your significant other, you should be able to show affection to them. If you love yourself enough, you should be able to be fine showing affection to your significant other. If you don't love yourself, it's going to be hard to consistently show that person that you love them and that, you know, that they're loved too. So, you know, I had a conversation with someone, and I've kind of talked about this to certain people that are close to me. You know, I posted a joke on Instagram on Valentine's Day about, like, oh, do you have a Valentine? And it was like a funny video that followed it, but it was basically like joking, saying, no, I don't. And it's true. You know, I haven't had a Valentine in a long time. But then people think because I say no, I'm not talking about my kids. Like, my kids aren't my Valentine. But it's like, dude, come on. I know they're my Valentine. I post it every year. They're my forever Valentine. But it's not the same. And obviously, if I say that, you understand. It's not. Because your kids are always going to be in your life. If you're a good parent. You know what I mean? But, like, my kids are always going to be in my life. No matter what. And they know I'm always going to be a Valentine of theirs. I can't say I'm going to be their only Valentine. I can say I'm going to be their forever Valentine, because I will be there forever. And I'm always going to make sure that they know on their Valentines they got someone. And, you know, that's what they do for me. At the end of the day, I know I've got a Valentine, it's them, but it's not the same. It's not the same type of love. And I'm sure you guys understand that, because as a parent, you know, that's not the love that you're trying to receive or give on that day. I'm much more of a giver than anything. I'd rather give my love and affection than receive it, if anything, you know? So when people say, oh, you always have your girls, don't forget, it's like, I will never forget that. But it doesn't hurt to say you want someone to show affection to you. You know? And I posted that as a joke, yeah, but again, it's part of that self-deprecation. It's just a joke, but it's making fun of myself. You know, it wasn't a bad thing. It wasn't a bad joke. I thought it was funny. People just take it too seriously. And then you get people saying, like, you know, your patience will pay off. Your patience will pay off. Like, don't worry, someone will come along and, you know, give you the love you deserve and, you know, make all the time spent waiting worth it. And it's like, okay, but number one, you're not telling me anything I don't already know or have heard. And number two, you don't know how tough it is. You know, if you're not a parent, you don't know how tough the journey is and how tough the road has been. Like, it's just plain and simple. Like, I don't like comments like that because it's like, I've been a father for 6 years. I know everything people could tell me. I know all of it. Doesn't change how I feel. I still am a single dad with 2 daughters who love me, yes, and I love them unconditionally, yes. But I don't have the companionship and the love of a companion like most do. And it's okay to want that. It's okay to, I don't want to say be jealous, because I'm not jealous of anybody. I want my own, you know, my own love and my own happiness. I don't want to base my love or affection or anything like that off anybody else. I would never say that someone else's goals or anything like that, because I want my own. You know, I want to be able to say my situation is my own, and it's the way I deserve it, and it's what I have always been waiting for. And yeah, if it happens, it happens. But along those lines too, like I've talked about before on these podcasts, I'm okay with being alone. If it never happens, it's gonna suck, but okay. You know, people are single a lot later in life than me now, and they're fine. They're still doing things. They're still living their life and continuing on. Like, the road doesn't end there with a relationship. Just because you can't find love doesn't mean the road ends. You just figure out a different plan. You execute a different plan. And again, it all comes down to being okay with yourself and loving yourself. I don't think you can be okay with being alone if you don't love yourself. And I feel like I am. I'm okay with being alone because I do love myself. I do love the person I am. And I know what I bring to the table, and I know what I'm capable of and what I offer to another individual or in life in general. I know all of that. I'm very aware of all of that. But I'm also a very affectionate person. I'm also a very vulnerable person. You know, I'm a lover and a fighter too. You know, people say they're one or the other. I'll fight for love if I have to. I don't care. Like, that's who I am. But it's tough not being able to give it, not being able to give affection whenever you want, or to the person you love or someone who loves you. So sometimes I do get sad. Sometimes I feel bad for being alone, and I feel lonely a lot. It's not a bad thing. You know, I've come to be okay with it. And, you know, I've tried relationships and I've tried, you know, different things, and yeah, they may not have worked out, but again, you learn. You learn every day from every situation you're in. You just learn. And the beauty about life is, you know, with one small setback, you can keep going and make hopefully some positive strides for a huge comeback. It's just a matter of if you're willing to go through the fire, and if you're willing to wake up every day and keep trying. Keep trying. Don't ever give up. And I don't think I'm one to just give up like that, but there are days where you feel like you want to. And there are days where like you see people posting about their love life and all that stuff, and you're like, man, good for them, but I wonder what that feels like. I wonder what that's like for them. Maybe one day. But if it doesn't, it doesn't. Some people, I feel, don't want to accept that. They try so hard to always be in a relationship, or they try so hard to be in a relationship that once again they forget to love themselves, and they invest all their effort and all their time into another person and not enough into themselves. That's why I think being alone for a long period of time is actually beneficial. Being single for a long time has helped me a lot. Helped me along my journey. That might not be for everybody. Some people might have difference of opinions. But, I'm a only child, single mom. I'm always by myself. I've been by myself for a long time. You just learn how to cope. You learn how to deal with it. And I try not to go to my mom with certain situations when I'm sad or when I'm down. Because it's like she's got her own things going on. She's got her own life to worry about too. And I'm not trying to bring her down. I'm also not trying to like bring up any feelings that I'm trying to put away. Because that's really a big thing for me too. I don't really talk about a lot of feelings because I don't like bringing them up. I want to just leave them where they were. Like, I don't want to rehash and think about it again. And it becomes a vicious cycle, and I don't like that. But then again, people say, oh, well, if you don't talk about it, it will come up again and it just becomes a cycle. But it's like everything's a cycle. It just is what it is. I choose the road less traveled. I don't like talking about it because for me, I feel like, what is it going to do? Okay, yeah, you feel better talking it out. It doesn't fix the problem. It doesn't fix the situation. I'd rather try to fix the situation and not talk about it than just talk about it and just sit there. But that's me. That's just my personal opinion. People could have their own opinions. I'm speaking for myself. If you have an opinion on, single life or being by yourself or being on your own, I'd love to hear it. I'd love to hear your perspective. I'm not one to put anybody down on their point of view. I'd love to hear your perspective and your point of view. Maybe it'll give me some insight. Or maybe it'll just help me understand another point of view. Either way, it's still going to teach me something. So, if you're in the boat of wanting to find affection, wanting to find love at this point, if you're a single individual, or even if you're dating and you're hoping that this person is the one, or you want to love this person, you're hoping that you will love this person or this person will love you, take a step back. Don't worry about that other person. Worry about yourself first. Are you ready to accept a love like that? Are you really ready to tell yourself, like, I'm deserving of this. I love myself enough that I freaking deserve to be happy and to be loved. I deserve that. Are you ready for that, really? If you are, then yes, I hope that person's ready for it too. And if they're not, don't settle. Don't ever settle. The last thing I would ever want anybody to do is to settle for something they're not deserving of or something that they're not ready for. You work so hard on yourself and so hard to be a better person. Don't just throw it away because of one person. Don't just throw it away because of a crappy situation. Shit happens every day, guys. People get hurt every single day. And people's feelings get hurt even more often. It sucks, but what are we going to do about it? Are we going to continue to grow? Are we going to learn from these situations? Are we just going to continue the cycle? Are we just going to continue the vicious cycle of putting your love into someone and them not loving you back, and then you just continue it over and over and over again? What are you going to do about it? I'm not going to sit here and just keep accepting that. I'm over that. I'm over, waiting for a love like that. I'm over being someone's second option. I can't do that anymore. I was okay being a second option for someone. I didn't really want to talk about this, but I guess we are going to talk about it now. I loved someone very deeply. I was in love with an individual. Things happened in our relationship that didn't pan out the way they could have, for many reasons. A lot of mistakes were made on both ends. I'm not going to say it was one person's fault. But because of those mistakes, things transpired, time passed, people changed. And life happened. Scenarios outside of each other happened and changed us even more. And, coming back into this person's life, or this person coming back into my life, I was hopeful things would get better. I was hopeful that things could possibly work out. And it doesn't seem like it will. So I'm okay with being over that person. I didn't want to accept it for the longest time. I'll be 100% honest. I still had love for this person while I was trying to find love in someone else or in other people, or just trying to date. I still loved this person. I did. I don't think I can say that anymore. Because I don't feel like a primary option for them. And that's okay. It may not be because someone else is their primary option. That's not always the case. In my case, I don't think it is. I just don't think I'm a priority right now. I've waited long enough. If I'm still not, and then the person's not ready to accept change or be open to change, then I'm okay with moving on. And I have. I don't even think this person watches these podcasts, and they say that, or they said that I'm important to them, or whatever the case may be. They may not even know I started a podcast, and we're how many episodes in now. It just, that's a reality, guys. It's like I've talked about before. No one is going to hold you down as much as you're going to hold yourself down. No one is going to love you like you love you. And I was open for this opportunity, this possible relationship rekindling, because I loved myself when I didn't before. I didn't love myself when I was with this person. I didn't. I was very sad. I was not a happy individual at all times. And it showed. But now that I am in a better state, in the state that I should have been back then, things are different. I can't hate the person for changing too. Just because they've changed in a different direction, it doesn't mean I should be mad at them for not being the way they were when we were together, because I'm not the same person we were when we were together. So it would be hypocritical of me to be upset about that. So I've accepted it. They're not the same person that they were when we were together. That's fine. Neither am I. Only difference is I've moved on from that point in my life. I've come to terms with the mistakes that were made on both sides. not just from hers, but from mine as well, I can't say the same for the other person. I don't talk to this person often at all. Like at all. And that should have been a dead indication even when I was first still hopeful. If you're not willing to even talk, what am I doing? If someone's important to you, you will always make time. No matter what. And, their life may not be the easiest right now because of certain situations. But I was willing to be there. I was willing to help out as much as I could, even just being a ear to listen to problems or a shoulder to cry on without anything to worry about, no judgment, nothing, and it wasn't ever used. So I was never angry at that because, again, I put the option out there. It was never taken. So again, it shows another aspect of what I should have realized before or sooner. But again, it comes from just my personality. Like I'm just a very strong, deep lover, and I can't help it. That's who I am. That's who I am as a person. That's who I was raised to be. I love hard. I love really, really hard. And as much as I was hopeful for this situation, it's at the point now where I'm over it. I'm over it. Feels really good, to be honest, to be able to say that after where I've been mentally with the situation. People have a hard time letting go of a situation like that. People have a hard time of moving on. A person could have meant the world to them, and then it ended. And yeah, they're seeing other people or doing other things, and at the back of their minds, it's still there. And you know it. You may not say it, but you are very aware that it's still there. I think we need to come to terms with that more often and be open about it. It's helped me out a lot. I've told some of the kids that I mentor the same thing. You could love somebody, even though I feel like they don't really know truly what love is at their age. But you could love somebody very deeply, and they could have put in an immense amount of effort into you as well as you into them, and put in a lot of time with each other, and it didn't work out. You're not supposed to get over it immediately. Otherwise, it really wasn't sincere. But you can't also expect it to go away easily if it was real, which my situation was for me. Feelings are hard to get rid of, especially in a situation like that. When your heart is invested into something or someone, it's hard to separate your feelings from a situation. It really is. But at the end of the day, if you continuously feel like an option, not a priority, don't waste your time. You're not toppings on an ice cream. You should be the bowl. The thing that should always be there, or the cone. That should be the constant, because you're not just going to eat ice cream out of the air. You should be the priority. So if you constantly feel like an option, if you constantly feel like the person you're trying to love is not making you feel like a priority or not making you feel wanted, voice your opinion. Let them know. And I did. didn't change it. So now I'm here. Now I'm at the point where I've moved on. And it's okay to say that. It's okay to realize that. It's okay to come to terms with that. But you can't beat yourself up over someone's opinion about you, or over someone's feelings changing over you. It happens. Excuse me. It's part of life. We all change, we all grow. And if someone isn't in your life every single day like they were at one point, you can't expect them to continuously make you feel like you're in their life if they're not willing to. You know, she and I both went through times where we probably didn't even think about each other because of other situations, or maybe we were with other people and we weren't even in each other's afterthoughts. But things may have come back, feelings may have come back, and because we were pretty sure we both were still in the sense, or in the mentality that we still cared about each other. I don't know if I can say the same thing anymore, at least from my point of view. You know, I haven't talked about that on this podcast because I'm not really big on opening up, like, verbally like this to a large audience about something real like that, but it's real. It's a big part of my life now, of being able to say that I moved on. And you know, I've kind of realized that I have for a while. I just haven't verbalized it, because again, your feelings are always going to be there for a person until you tell yourself they're not. And I hadn't yet until now. Now I have, and it feels a lot better. It's very freeing to be able to say that now. I don't feel like I'm tied down to emotions or a person anymore. And I haven't for a while, because I've just felt like the same wasn't felt for me. So when I don't feel like the same is felt for me, it's really hard for me to continuously put my energy into something or someone. It just took a minute for me to actually, like, solidify it. You know what I mean? So yeah, it's pretty solidified for me now. You know, I was talking to one of the boys that I mentor, Jesse, and he's very aware of the situation. He's kind of been right there with me the whole time with my ups and downs with this situation. And you know, he was pretty surprised at the fact that, like, I was able to actually say it now, because he kind of, like, by the way I've talked about it, he's kind of been like, he's kind of known about it. But now that I'm able to say it, it's like, okay, well, what are you going to do now? And I love that mentality. How are you going to change? How are you going to fix it? What are you going to do now? What are you going to do better? I already feel like I'm better. I kind of have an idea of where I want to go, what I want to do. We'll see how it goes, though. There are things in the works right now, but nothing serious right now. Just kind of enjoying life, trying to see where it takes me. You know, I'm very open to meeting people, and I'm talking to people and going to see people and going out of my way to meet people, and why not? No stone should be left unturned. And because I am the type of person I am, and I give the love and affection that I give, I'm gonna take every opportunity I can at any situation like this. And that's what I'm doing. So, you know, you guys are gonna continue to hear about my progression with this subject, but right now we're happy. I can say that pretty confidently. Right now we're happy. situation I'm in right now has made me very happy, and I'm very thankful for the position I'm in, and the growth that I've made. This podcast has helped me realize that I do love myself, because I'm able to be vulnerable enough to record myself, put these videos online for everyone to see, and get the reception that I've gotten. It's awesome. It's something I would have never expected. But I'm so thankful that I do what I do, and I'm so thankful that I made the decision to do this and to start this podcast and to reach the people I've reached. And I hope this episode helps as many people as it can too, because this subject is so important to me. The toughest love will always be the love within oneself. Whether it be loving yourself or trying to see if your significant other loves themselves enough to love you or to accept love. Being able to love myself has helped me move on from my situation. Being able to tell myself every day that I'm worthy of a divine love has helped me move on. Because if I didn't feel that way, I probably would still be hung up on this person. I probably would still wish for the best and hope every time, every morning or every day I would get a text, and I just wouldn't. But I don't feel that way anymore. And I haven't for a little while. I haven't received what I've hoped for. I haven't received the love that I feel like I'm deserving of. And now I'm better for it. So, if you guys are in a situation right now where either your person you're with is struggling to love themselves, or the person that you were with in the past didn't love themselves and it didn't work out, you may be hopeful that it does work out eventually or someday. Figure out if they love themselves first. Well, figure out if you love yourself first. If you do already, then yes, figure out if they love themselves now. And if they don't, not up to you. Move on. Simple. Move on. If you don't love this person anymore, and you love yourself, or you're trying to love yourself, that's your priority. Love yourself at all times. The right one will come. But if you're not willing to love yourself, or if you're not ready to love yourself, the right one could be staring you right in the face, and it won't matter. It is what it is. It will not matter, because you won't be able to accept their love. As perfect as this person may be, you won't be able to accept it, because you can't even love yourself. You won't know it's the perfect love unless you do. And I hope everyone finds that love. I hope everyone is able to get there sooner or later, because it's an amazing feeling to be loved. And I have felt love before. So I know it's an amazing feeling. It's one of the best feelings in the world. But I know it'll be even better now that I love myself every day, telling myself that I love myself. I know the love that I'm going to receive eventually, if it does come, will be better than anything I've ever felt. Because I know it's going to be the love I deserve. Because I know I'm deserving of it, and you guys are too. Everyone listening to this is deserving of that love. And if you're in a relationship where you're loved that way and you love that way, keep it, please. Don't ever let that go. Don't ever let that go. Hold on to it. But if you're not, either figure out what the problem is, whether it's yourself or your significant other, and if the problem isn't willing to be fixed, move on. Don't waste your time, please. Don't make the same mistake that I have. I want everyone to be successful in life and in their love life, especially because it just makes everything better. It makes sleeping better. It makes waking up better. It makes your work life better because you know you can come home to someone who truly cares about you and who's going to be there for you and who's going to hold it down for you. Nothing's better than that at the end of the day. Nothing is better. And one day everyone will feel that, and I know they will. I know you guys are going to feel that. And until then, I just hope that you continue to better yourself. And even if you love yourself now, don't ever let it go. Don't ever stop your efforts into loving yourself, because that's what's going to solidify your future with love and affection in another person or within yourself. That's going to make sure that everything is okay. At the end of the day, everything will be okay, and you won't ever have to doubt that. So that about wraps it up for this one, guys. Got really deep in this one, I guess. I had a lot to say about this topic. You know, I feel like I've held back a little bit on this podcast and some of the episodes. I don't want to do that anymore. As much as I didn't want to hold back in some of them, I did. You know, once I finished recording them and uploading them, I was like, You know, I could tell I held back, and I don't want to do that anymore. I don't. I want to keep this as real as possible and as open as possible. And a lot of people ask me, like, where I come up with talking about certain things and topics. Like, this is all off my head, guys. It's all off the rip. Like, excuse me. I don't have a script or anything here. It's all off my dome, and I am just spitting things that come out of my mouth. Like, I don't have, I do have an outline that I think about beforehand, but I don't bring anything into the podcast like an objective. I just try to get my point across the best way I can. And it's funny because people ask me, like, about the video too, like, what do I edit with? And it's like, I really don't edit. Like, it's one take. I press play or record, and then I press stop. I've done that with every episode. I'm going to continue to do that, you know. Maybe once I have the equipment to edit properly, I may start to do a little bit of editing here and there, but until then, this is what we're going to do. So we're going to keep doing. So once again, thank you guys so much. And please check out tufflove.com or Tuff Love International on Instagram. I will leave the links in the description of this video. Follow my friend Nimo Woods. He's also an up-and-coming rapper. His stuff is fire. Check it out. I might even talk to him about getting a song on here for the videos. Like, try to figure something out. Maybe use an instrumental or something. But yeah, support him, man. He's a homie from back in my day, a long time ago. We've been friends for a long time, and he's doing some stuff that, you know, I think is really, really cool. On top of being a friend, like, the message behind his brand is something that I stand by, and that's why I support him. You know, I feel like it's a constant message to you out there to never forget. No one's gonna love you like you love you, and that's where your love comes from. That's where ultimate love comes from, and it's the toughest love, guys. Hashtag the, like, tough love, as you see on the hat. It's hard. It's hard to love yourself. It's hard to be loved by someone when you don't love yourself. But once you do love yourself and you work on it, you know it's worth it. But that's the tough part, is working on it, staying there, and making sure you do love yourself. So I hope you guys are able to do that. And I hope you continue to support these videos and the podcast episodes. Please check it out on Spotify. If you guys don't want to, you know, watch every video on YouTube, all the videos are always going to be on Spotify. If you want to just listen to it, please check me out there. As always, Instagram is going to be in the bio. Share the video as much as you can. Replay the video if you need to continuously hear the message. Let's just continue to get better every day. Love each other every day. Love ourselves every day. You know, the toughest love is there. You just got to be willing to work at it. And I hope you guys do. Thank you again, guys, so much. I'll see you in the next one. Be safe. Stay healthy. Love hard. Bye, guys.